Aloha and shalom. We're here for the new moon activation. I'm gonna go ahead and start shuffling while you guys tune in. So it's a new moon, new beginning. The new moon activation is all about finding out what the theme of this month ahead is going to be, this cycle ahead. Okay, so last week was the final quarter. It was when you should have integrated everything that happened in the last cycle and prepared for this new moon. Okay, so you should be feeling refreshed and ready for a new beginning. I'm tuning in from Sedona, Arizona. Where in the world are you? Let us know in the comments. We have Phoenix, Arizona in the house. Where in the world are you? Let us know. Feel free to share this video now while we're live with friends, family, or someone who could use a message of guidance right now, or maybe someone who could help activate this message further. Someone super powerful that you know. Go ahead and send it to them. South Africa in the house. What's up? And as always, if you want to share this video with someone who's not on Facebook, it will be on YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, later on in the day. So check it out there if you want to share it when we're done. All right, giving thanks in advance for this message that's about to come through. Thank me, thank we, thank you, thank the one for this message of guidance. So we're about to pull some cards that are going to serve as a map for us to move through this first part of the 4-part lunar cycle. So basically what this does is it pulls out information from within us, because everything is already within us, right? There's nothing that these cards can show us that's not already within us, because they are literally a reflection of us. So when we put the cards on the table, what's happening is we're getting rid of all the extraneous stuff, all that extra stuff that we don't need, and we're putting out what is important, what needs to be focused on, leaving the rest behind. So again, thank you, Archetypes Faces of the One, for this message of guidance. It's about to come through. Beginning with the current challenge and gift. Something we're stepping away from or launching from. And why we're going through this month. And then the Hebrew letter ally, main ally, because they're all our allies, of this week. All right, beginning with challenge and gift. 9 of Swords looks like this, and Swords is the suit of challenges, and 9s are endings. So this new moon paired with this archetypal theme of the ending of the challenge is telling us we have an opportunity right now to really move away from that darkness that we've awakened from. Okay, any patterns that you've become aware of recently that were not serving you, that were maybe really hurting you or hurting others, you've already awakened to them. You've already become aware. Now it's time to move from the 9 to the 10, begin again. It's time for a fresh start. You've awakened to those patterns. Now do something about it. Don't victimize yourself. Don't sit there with it. Don't woe is me. Don't pity yourself or pity others even. No, just be real. Sit with what you've realized and make something of it now. And I'm going to show you a little more closely. See, this person has their hands over their eyes and they've awakened to what the nightmare was, but they're realizing it wasn't real, right? They were asleep, they were in an unconscious state. Now that they're awake and they've realized it, they can do something about it. But the thing is, until this person removes their hands from their eyes, they're not going to see this blanket and the message that it represents. This blanket is like our security, right? Think of a security blanket, safety blanket. And it has roses, which represent rebirth, represents birth and eternal life. And then if you look really closely, it has the zodiac symbols on it as well. So what this art is depicting is that when we remove our hands from our eyes and we stop only looking at the suffering, we can see that everything always happens for a reason. Everything is in divine order. So it's all okay. It's all been okay. It's going to be okay. It's okay right now. We have what we need within us to make a change, do better, move forward, onwards and upwards. That's how we move from the 9 to the 10. The 9 is all about, oh my goodness, what a nightmare it has been. And it's okay because everything happens for a reason. I'm going to make the most of this and I'm going to do what I need to do to make a change and end that nightmare once and for all. So what has your nightmare been? And start within, asking yourself, as far as my thought programs, what have I been putting on loop in my thoughts that is actually bringing more darkness, bringing more suffering to myself and others in this life? Okay, the hardest part is over. You've awakened to it. You've awakened to the truth. Yes, it's been a nightmare. Yes, it's been difficult. And what are you going to do about it now? Moving away from the 2 of Pentacles, and how this connects to what we just shared is this. We're moving away from feeling like we need to hang on to something out of comfort or out of safety, because we're realizing now it's not actually causing comfort. It's not actually bringing us security to hang on to those old habits, those old ways, those old situations, those old relationships, etc., etc. And when I say relationships, I mean even an old relationship with yourself. An old way of looking at yourself. It's safe to release that. It's safe to let go of that. It's safe to transform the way that you relate to yourself and to the world. What you may have thought was bringing you safety and security and comfort is actually not in the long run. It's actually not truly sustainable when you think about it. So make the sacrifices now. Be uncomfortable a little bit now, so that in the long run, you can be more secure in what matters, which is your soul's lessons, which is the path of bringing more light into this world, which is the path of embodying virtue. That's true security. Because if you place your security in worldly things, it will be taken from you. It will not be sustainable. You must base your security in those things that are everlasting, which are those things that are made of light, which, when you really think about it, are just the virtues. Kindness, patience, honesty, forgiveness, moderation, all those things are the lights that are a part of the one great eternal light of compassion. So if you put your energy into that pursuit, the pursuit of embodying those different lights, the lights of the different virtues, then you will be truly secure in the ways that it matters. Okay, so we're moving away from this one foot in the new world, one foot in the old. Feeling like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be this new person, but I'm still gonna hold on a little bit to the old self because just in case. No, we're not doing that. Because what you're telling the universe, what you're telling your cells, what you're telling the world is truly, you're saying, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to step into this next version of myself. I'm not ready for this higher frequency. I'm not ready for this path. That's what you're saying. And even though that highest aspect of yourself knows that you are, your cells and your environment, It's all going to respond to what you're saying, to what you're thinking, to what you're feeling. So if you say, I'm not ready, okay, then we'll reflect that to you, is what your cells say, is what the environment says, is what the stars say, because it's all a reflection of where you're at. So don't be afraid to step fully into the new world. Because ultimately, even though you think that's not what you want and you feel like you need to hang on, you don't. What you truly want is that leap into the new, that leap of faith. Why we're going through this, we have the Hierophant. And this is a major arcanum card. Number 5, Arcanum 5. And the Hierophant, think of it as the teacher within your heart, the guru in your own heart, your heart's compass. We're going through this so that we can come back into our heart, so that we can see the truth clearly, so that ultimately we can make better decisions on our path. 5 is right before the 6, which is known as the Lovers, but in ancient times known as the 2 paths. So it's all about a choice point and decisions. Okay, so we're going through this right now, waking up from the nightmare, making the changes we need to make so that we can step out of the old world and fully into the new. So that we can be back in our hearts, so that we can be back in a place to see clearly, to think clearly, to make decisions from a righteous place. If we're so stuck victimizing ourselves, and we're so stuck in the muck of the crappy decisions we've been making, and we're keeping one foot in the old world out of fear, out of doubt, out of a lack of faith, then for sure we're not fully seated in our heart of hearts and able to make the highest decisions, the best decisions, because we're in that muck. So if we want to come back to this place of being attuned to the heart's compass, we've got to fully show up for it. We've got to fully declare that we're ready for it. Are you ready for it, or do you want to be stuck in that nightmare? I'm pretty sure you're ready. So it's just about declaring that, affirming that, and doing whatever it takes to say, I'm here, fully present and ready for this shift. And the Yud is the Hebrew letter ally of the week. It's the 10th letter of the alphabet, and the hieroglyphic symbol connected to this letter is a hand. In Hebrew, it's the word Yad. So the letter is Yud. The symbol is the Yad, a hand. And when you connect that hieroglyphic symbol of the hand to Arcanum 10 in the tarot, connected to 10, the Yud, it's the wheel, right? So you get the wheel and you get the hand turning the wheel. Take the wheel. That's the magic of connecting the Hebrew letters to the major arcanum of the tarot, tarot. It paints a clearer picture of each of these archetypal lessons, okay? So again, you have the hand and then you have the wheel. It's the hands taking the wheel. And so it's saying, okay, you've realized what has not been working. You've realized the darkness. You've awakened from the nightmare. Your hands are on the wheel. You are in the driver's seat. Go. Start a new chapter. Direct this ship in the right direction. Okay? No more one foot in the old and one foot in the new. You are at the driver's seat. You're in the driver's seat. You are at the wheel. Take control. And the other thing is this, it's important to remember, and the wheel and also the Hierophant tell a story of this truth that we are living in a field of law. We are one with this law. So yes, there are laws, there are rules that we need to work with, but when you understand those laws and you understand how you are one with those laws and how those laws are simply an organic byproduct of the nature of reality, then you can work with those laws. Then you can actually take the wheel. But until you understand those laws and the way that they operate and the way that we operate within that realm of law, you can't fully take the wheel. So that's a big message coming through, is that we need to understand the laws, and the laws live in the heart. So they are so connected to Arcanum 5. In fact, Arcanum 5, this heart's compass, this teacher within, the main word for Arcanum 5 is law. And that's because the law lives as love and light in your heart. These laws, again, are a natural byproduct of the dance of the forces of nature and the cosmos, okay? So it's like the fabric of reality, or the pattern behind it all. When you get to understand that, you understand that there's a natural system of law. It's not man-made law. And when you understand those laws as truth, as light, as love that live within your heart, then you know how to work with them. Then you know how to live as them, with them. And then you can really take the wheel, okay? So you may be feeling right now like, oh man, I realize what hasn't been working. I realize the darkness. I realize what I need to change. How do I do it in a way that's going to be truly sustainable? How do I do it in a way that's going to be truly righteous? Tune in to your heart. Tune into the laws of nature and the cosmos and work with that. So long as you are working in alignment with that, as you are abiding by those laws of truth, then you have everything you need to take the wheel and direct the ship in the appropriate direction, out of the darkness and into the light. Yud, Yad, hand, 10, wheel. Hands are on the wheel. But what even is that wheel? It's the circle, it's the cycle of life, right? And if you're into the occult, if you're into esoteric symbolism, then you've seen the square with the circle within it, right? The circle with the square around it. And that is such a powerful symbol you'll see in occult art. You'll see it in so many places. If you just look, you'll start to see it even in nature all around you, okay? This is a universal symbol, the circle within the square. And this represents the circle of life safely contained within the law. The square represents law, structure. Okay, so it's like the masculine and the feminine, the masculine space holding for the feminine. Okay, and those are the laws that we're talking about, that we're referring to. Okay, so if you have your hands on the wheel, remember that you are still operating within the field of law. And if you can understand that, then you can actually have true control of the ship to the degree that we came here to have it, right? It's like the same concept of, if you are aligning your small will with the will of the one, then you truly empower yourself to expand in the ways that you really came here to expand. But if you are operating selfishly, and this is like the first law of magic, if you're operating selfishly, you'll never access that true power. Okay? It's like you are this small wheel within a greater wheel, and when you align those wheels, something magical happens where your wheel expands to meet that larger wheel. Okay, this is like really far out there for some people, but I know some of you who are watching, or still here watching, actually understand that concept. Okay, so bringing it back into this message right now, you have awakened from the nightmare, what hasn't been working, you're ready to do something about it. You're saying to the universe, I'm fully here, showing up for this. I'm ready to leave behind whatever I need to in order to step into this next chapter. And I realize that my hands are on the wheel. And if I know what the wheel really is, and I understand the laws of this realm, then there is nothing holding me back from walking in an empowered state to direct the ship out of the darkness and into the light. So happy new moon. It's a great time to feel that inspiration of a new beginning. To say, hey, I realize what hasn't been working, and that's okay. And I'm going to do my best to make a change. And the thing is, you only need to focus on one step at a time, right? So make a list, even if it's just in your head. But I encourage you to write it out on paper, okay? And just write even one thing, or maybe 3 things that have not been working. And then next to it, write one thing that you're gonna do about it. Just one thing. So it's like, oh man, my eating habits have been crappy lately. Okay, great. I'm gonna eat healthy. Man, I've been feeling really exhausted lately. Oh, I'm gonna start to take some bee pollen or some ginseng, vitamin B. Amazing. Oh, you know, I haven't been really kind to my sibling lately. Oh, I'm gonna do one kind thing for my sibling today or this week. Oh, I haven't been doing my best at work. Oh, this week I'm gonna take the extra step to do something really awesome for my team at work. Just one thing can neutralize the energy. Just one thing can tip the scales in the opposite direction. And that's so simple, right? So again, just start with one thing or maybe 2 or 3 things, a small list. Write the things that haven't been working, that you haven't been doing your best with. And then on the other side, next to it, write one thing you're gonna do to alchemize that energy. And that's the beauty that we have in each moment. That's the beauty of the opportunity we have in each moment to be the alchemist we came here to be, to tip the scales from the vice to the virtue. And in any moment, that is truly the work. That's how simple it is. We are simply here to transform vice to virtue. And in our human lives, we have so much to work with. We have so many opportunities in any moment to transform vice to virtue. Even if you are, for some reason, your ego is not allowing you to see some way that you've been embodying a vice, just lean on the collective. Man, we've been littering. We've been nasty to each other. We've been dehumanizing one another. Sometimes it's easier. Hey, maybe you don't want to call yourself out. All right, let's look at the collective. Lean on that. There is certainly darkness in this world. And it's okay, because as long as we are busying ourselves with God's work, as long as we are busying ourselves with the work we came here to do, then we don't need to look at it like, we can go, oh my God, yay, so many opportunities to perform alchemy. Because none of this is even real anyway, right? None of this is even real. We're just here to make the most of the darkness, to multiply the light. And without the darkness, there is no opportunity to do that. That's why we're here. The darkness is not even real. It will fade away, but the light goes on forever. So how can we take what is dark and make more light? That's the only worthy pursuit here. Okay? So again, if you can't see a way in which you've personally been embodying vice, I urge you to look deeper. But that's okay. If you don't want to call yourself out, look at the collective. Man, there's a lot of litter. Get outside. Go to a place in your neighborhood where you know there's a lot of litter and clean it up. And right there, you should feel good about yourself. And there should be no room for you to pity yourself or pity the world, because you are actively and intentionally doing something to better yourself and your oneself. So busy yourself with these acts of goodness, and you will absolutely be doing what we call bringing heaven to earth, period. And if you're doing that actively, again, there's no space to be victimizing, pitying yourself, pitying anyone, because you are busying yourself with the work of the Most High. You're carrying out the divine plan, okay? You know what? Wow, I've been seeing a lot of hate in the world. I'm going to go and volunteer somewhere. I'm going to look for someone who's not doing so well. They're everywhere. And I'm going to help them do better. I'm going to make them smile. I'm going to tell them a joke. I'm going to play a song for them. I'm going to do a dance for them. Whatever. Just busy yourself with acts of goodness and keep it going. And you will find no space, no time to have pity or doubt or anxiety or fear, because you will be so busy actively spreading joy and actively bringing heaven to earth and living your purpose. And so you will be replacing anxiety, fear, and suffering with joy, with gratitude, with healing, with purpose, with meaning. It's one or the other, babe. So get busy. Get down with your good self. I'll see you there, here, now, forever. Happy new moon, you guys. Thank you for being here with me for this activation. I look forward to doing this work with you this cycle. And just let it sink in, like really let it sink in. Don't lose sight of our focus here, okay? Because it's our shared focus and we got this. Thank you to everybody who showed up for this. Please share this video with your family and friends. The recording will be on YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, as usual, later in the day. Thank you for giving back. Thank you for your donations. My Venmo is Rebecca-Magic with a CK. I do see it spelled here. I love your reviews. Please leave a review, facebook.com/RoyalPathTarot. Leave me a star rating there, or email me, info@RoyalPathTarot.com, your reviews. You can get my books on Amazon, or you can reach out to me to get a direct copy, Royal Path 1 and Royal Path 2. There is now a hardcover available with some new edits that I'm super excited about, so check that out. I think there are about like 50 or 60 reviews on Amazon of my book if you want to know more, so check that out. You can also go to my YouTube channel to get a reading of the intro of my book. Just search Rebecca Magic, Royal Path 1 on YouTube. And if you want a reading, of course, just email me, info@RoyalPathTarot.com, to book a reading, or private message me here or on any platform. Love to work with you wherever you are in the world. Doesn't matter. I have all the platforms to connect. And I am so excited to meet you if that feels aligned for you. All right, guys, I'll see you next week for the first quarter activation, and we'll see where we're at. We'll regroup and make sure that we're staying in alignment with this focus of bringing heaven to earth. Yay!